guys, we have a new tall tale character today. We are going to read about Pecos Bill. Pecos Bill. Just by looking at his outfit, what do you think Pecos Bill is? So we've got some boots on, some chaps, got a vest, got a handkerchief around the neck, a hat. We'll find out. Wonder what he's doing with this snake. I wonder if that has something to do with that exaggeration. We will find out. Let's go over some vocabulary first. For Pecos Bill. All right, the first word is energy. Energy. All right, you guys know a lot about having energy. The children had a lot of energy to burn at recess. All right, energy is power. The ability to be active or do something. All right, usually the kids have the energy and the parents are running low on the energy, or the teachers, the adults. All right, energy. The next word is persuaded. What word? Yes, persuaded. The kids persuaded their parents to get pizza for dinner. My son likes to persuade me to do that a lot. All right, persuaded means to cause to do something by asking, convincing, or arguing. Now, a lot of times kids are good at persuading by convincing the adults. Persuaded. We'll find out who's persuaded to do something in Pecos Bill. The next word is relaxed. What word? Yes, relaxed. Pearl relaxed the tension on the leash so her dog could run in front of her. Right, so this is the leash. And if she relaxed it, that means she let it loose a little bit. She loosened it. If she keeps it tight, what happens to the puppy? Yes, the puppy has to stay near to her. But if she relaxes it and lets it loosen up, then the puppy can do what? He can walk a little bit farther away from her. Relaxed. The next word is tamed. What word? Yes, tamed. Oh boy. The cowboy tamed his wild horse. What does tamed mean? Right, tamed means you train it. Train it to obey. All right, so how many of you guys would like to ride a horse that's wild like this? No, you may break your arm or leg or something. But someone would have to tame it so that it's calm and it would obey. And when you ask it to go, it would go calmly. Okay, so you want it to be tamed. Tamed. All right, now I'm going to say some characteristics of a story. You give me a thumbs up or down if I am talking about a tall tale. Alright, tall tales include a character who is part of a royal family. No, that is a fairy tale. Alright, tall tales include exaggerations. Yes, they do. Tall tales are humorous or funny. Yes, they are. Tall tales are often in the setting of the frontier or the west of the United States. Yes, they are. Tall tales always start with once upon a time. No, that's a fairy tale. All right. Now, we are going to read about Pecos Bill. As we read, let's look for some of those exaggerations, stretching the truth that happens with these tall tales. Now look at this first picture. Oh my goodness, that the chaos is going on. I can't wait to find out. The greatest cowboy that ever lived was the one they called Pecos Bill. Bill was born in East Texas and might have lived there forever. But one day his pa came running out of the house, shouting to his ma, "Pack up everything, Ma, we gotta move. There's neighbors moved in about 50 miles away, and it's getting too crowded around here." Now guys, 50 miles away? Is that close for neighbors? No, that's not close for neighbors. That is an exaggeration. So Bill's folks loaded up a covered wagon with everything they owned and headed west. Why does everyone keep heading west? Remember, I told you people had not settled out in the west yet, and there were less people. So people were wanting to move out west where there were less people. So he's wanting to go away from those neighbors that are 50 miles away from him. It was a long, hard journey. The children were packed in the back of the wagon, all 18 of them. They fussed and hollered and fought as the wagon bounced along. The children were so loud that Bill's mama said you couldn't hear the thunder over the noise. So here's Daddy. He said, "Hey, Ma, get those kids. We got to get out of here. We got to move out west." And how many children were they packing in that wagon? 18 children. Can you imagine packing up 18 children to head out west? My, my, my. That poor mama, she's got her hands full. She's got to get some of them out of the trees and everywhere else. One day the wagon hit a rock and little Bill fell right out. With all the fussing and fighting, nobody noticed. The wagon just kept on going. So little Bill found himself sitting in the dirt along the banks of the Pecos River. That is a real river in Texas. And that's how he became known as Pecos Bill. But that was later. Little Bill was not your average baby. He didn't cry. He just crawled along the dusty plain, keeping his eyes peeled for whatever came along. And the first thing to come along was a coyote. When the coyote saw this dirty, naked little creature crawling around on all fours, she thought he was a cute little animal, even if his ears were mighty small. Little Bill reached up and patted the coyote's head and said, "Nice doggy." Now, do you think this is really real? No, this is an exaggeration. Can a baby really say nice doggy? No. The doggy, the coyote, liked Little Bill. She took him home and raised him with her pups. The coyotes taught Bill to roam the prairies and howl at the moon. They taught him the secrets of hunting, how to leap like an antelope, and how to run like the wind. They told him how to chase lizards and lie so still that he was almost invisible. Now, do you think a young boy could really become a member of a coyote pack? Is this an exaggeration? Yes, it is. It's funny because Bill seems larger than life. What person could really think they belong with a coyote pack, right? Well, the years went by, 18 of them to be exact, and Bill grew up strong and healthy. One day he was out hunting along the Pecos River when he saw the most unusual sight. It seemed to be a big animal with 4 legs. Or was it 6 legs? And what did it have? Did it have one hand in front and another on top? What in the world did he see? What do you guys think? Let's see what he saw. What does he see, guys? Well, it turned out to be a horse with a man riding it. Something Bill had never seen before. Bill scurried around the horse a few times. Then he slowly crept forward and took a sniff of the man's body and his boot. "Boy," said the man, "what are you doing scampering around down there in your birthday suit?" What does it mean to wear your birthday suit, guys? It means he doesn't have any clothes on. Oh my goodness. "Sniffing," said Bill, "I'm a coyote." "No, you ain't," said the man. "You're a man like me." "No," howled Bill. "Coyote." Why does Bill think he's a coyote? Yeah, he's been raised by a pack of coyotes. He thinks he's a coyote. "Well, what makes you think you're a coyote?" said the man. "I have fleas," said Bill. "So what?" said the man. "Lots of men in Texas have fleas." But Bill was not persuaded or convinced. He was sure he was a coyote. "Here's the thing," said the man. "Coyotes have pointy ears and a big bushy tail, and you just don't." Uh-oh, guys, what is Bill looking for? He's looking behind him to see if he's got a big bushy tail back there. Do you think he's going to find one? "Yes, I do," said Bill. He felt sure he had a tail just like the other coyotes. He looked over his shoulder, but he couldn't see one. He reached back to grab his tail, but he couldn't find one. He backed up to the river and looked for his reflection, but it was not there. Bill was surprised. He thought for a moment. Then he decided the man must be right. If he didn't have a tail, he couldn't be a coyote. If he wasn't a coyote, he must be a man. Bill decided he'd have to say farewell to his 4-legged friends and try living as a man. He went to stay with the man, who just so happened to be a cowboy. So what's the man's job? Yes, the man's a cowboy. The man gave Bill some clothes to wear and a horse to ride. He also gave him a name, Pecos Bill. All right, remember remember he named him Pecos because he found him near what river? The Pecos River. At first, Bill had trouble being a man. He couldn't stand the way the clothes scratched him and pulled at his skin, or the way his boots came between his bare feet and the good old dirt. And he couldn't see the need for a fork, a knife, or a spoon, when it was just easier to pick it up and eat it with your fingers and tear your meat. Bill learned to act like a man, but he still had a spark of wildness in him, and it would flash out from time to time. One day, he was out riding on his horse when he was surprised by a mountain lion. The mountain lion scared Bill's horse away and charged right at Bill. But Pecos Bill was too quick for that mountain lion. He dodged the big cat, then hopped right onto his back. All right, guys. Would you hop on a mountain lion's back? No, sounds like to me we have a little what? Exaggeration. Let's look. The mountain lion was not happy. No, sir. He bucked. He snarled. He tried to twist around and bite Bill. Bill held on to the lion's neck with one hand. With the other hand, he waved his cowboy hat in the air and shouted, "Yoo-hoo!" The mountain lion did everything he could to shake Bill off, but it was no use. Finally, he gave in and let Bill ride him. Then Bill put a saddle on the lion and rode him like a horse. Bill had tamed the mountain lion. Another day, Pecos Bill was attacked by a giant rattlesnake. This particular rattlesnake was a mean old fella who thought he was the king of the whole desert. He struck at Bill's heel, but Pecos Bill was too quick for that rattlesnake. Let's see what happens. I remember a rattlesnake from earlier. Pecos Bill grabbed that rattler by the neck and squeezed him hard. The snake wriggled and writhed in Bill's grip. "Say uncle if you've had enough," said Bill. "Uncle," said the snake, gurgling out the sounds as best as he could. Bill relaxed or loosened the grip around the rattler. "Who's the boss around here?" "I was," said the snake, "but now you are." "Well then," Bill said, "how'd you like to work for me?" "Sure thing," said the rattler. The rattler just looked at Pecos Bill with admiration and purred like a kitten. All right. Pecos Bill had squeezed all the meanness right out of that snake. So now he rides on a mountain lion and he uses this snake as his lasso so he can use it to rope and catch his cattle that's missing as his cowboy tools. So he rides the mountain lion and he uses the rattlesnake as his lasso. All of that sounds like a lot of exaggeration. Next, Pecos Bill rolled the rattler up into a coil and rode away on his mountain lion. On the way back to camp, he spotted a runaway cow. He grabbed the rattler and tied a loop at one end of him to make a lasso. Then he rode after the cow, swinging his lasso above his head. When he was close enough, he tossed the looped end of the snake over the cow. Pecos Bill jumped off the mountain lion and pulled the lasso tight, stopping the runaway cow right in his tracks. Pecos Bill brought the cow back to his friend, the cowboy. After that, he taught all the cowboys at the ranch how to use a lasso to catch a runaway cow. He taught them other things too. He taught them how to tame wild horses by riding them, just as he had done with the mountain lion. He even taught them how to sing cowboy songs around a campfire at night in a voice that sounded a lot like a lonesome coyote howling at the moon. Where did he learn how to do that? From his coyote family, that's right. Pecos Bill was famous for his riding skills. He once rode a wild Mustang called Backbreaker that no one else could ride, but that story pales in comparison to the time he rode something that no other man before, and I reckon no man ever will again, a cyclone. Remember, a cyclone is almost the same as a tornado. Can you imagine riding a tornado? Let's find out. Wow. Pecos Bill was a real cowboy, right? With a tall tale pretends he is. Oh, that's right. Pecos Bill lassoed a cyclone with his rattlesnake lasso and jumped on its rip-roaring back. The cyclone spun furiously, trying to throw Bill off. It went spinning its way, this way and that way across the deserts of Arizona, trying to knock Bill into the ground. Pecos Bill didn't let go of the cyclone until it spun itself out of energy. And by that time, the two of them had carved out a deep canyon. If you ever go to Arizona, you can still see the canyon today. It's also called the Grand Canyon. All right, didn't we read that someone else made the Grand Canyon? Yeah, we read about that with Paul Bunyan, right? It's because both of them were using exaggerations to tell a story, right? Did either one of them really make the Grand Canyon? No. Okay, and see, it's showing him making the Grand Canyon. Right there. Okay. All right, let's review exaggerations. I'm going to say something. You decide if it is a fact or if I am stretching the truth with an exaggeration. It was so cold that even the snow turned blue. Exaggeration. The snow covered the ground, making it hard to go outside. That can be a real fact. The lumberjack ate a pancake the size of a house. Exaggeration. All right, listen to this one. A cowboy takes care of cows. That's a fact. All right, listen to this one. The Pecos River is in Texas. That is a fact. A rattlesnake can be used as a lasso. That would be an example of an exaggeration. All right, the coyote took Bill home to raise as her own pup. That would also be an exaggeration. All right, tomorrow we will listen to the story again, and you will write about some exaggerations in the story. I will have a couple of questions where you will choose the answer to make sure you understood the story today. Do your best work.